Unofficial Noncredible Podcast. I have to say that. Don't sue us, that Reddit. Basically, if you saw last episode, it's gonna be more pretty much the same, but we're gonna try and stay on topic. Let's see how well that goes. All right.
The stream can't hear me right now, can? Oh, they can.
Well, now they can.
Now they can.
No, they can.
All right. Do y'all's intros again.
Yeah, Fret. Hang on, Fret.
Hello, my name is. I am the 21st Century Madman. I'm a white boy from the Pacific Northwest. And I.
Okay, that's why did it not?
Frat, are you having technical difficulties?
Yeah, it doesn't want to do the link.
Well, it's the audio.
Oh, dear.
There it goes.
Oh, boy.
We need to know the most important.
Can somebody verify
Yeah,
that?
they can hear you.
Oh, what?
They can hear you. You're coming up on the stream.
Vibe check.
Thank you very
1, 2.
much.
King of Spot.
Everybody's audio is good?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you guys can hear me, I'm pretty sure the stream
Yeah,
can
it
hear me.
sounds good.
Alright.
I can't pull the stream up. I'm on my phone.
Right.
And plus, I hear the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, the stream's working.
Right.
All right.
Right. So, this hasn't
No.
started. We're 2.5 minutes
Good
in.
evening, folks.
We're doing a minute,
Yeah.
half minute in, and you haven't changed the title yet.
I did.
Of course
Huh?
you did.
Doesn't come up on my
But
screen.
let's move on with
There, I
this.
updated it again.
Go introduce yourself
Oh,
again.
it's working. Hello,
Okay.
shit show watchers.
Work. Oh, I was gonna say work from the top of the funny thing. So, 21st. Have
Work
you
from
done
the
yours
top.
yet? You stopped.
just did it.
Yeah. I'm 21st Century Madman. I'm a white boy from the Pacific Northwest. I don't have much relevant experience in much of anything, but I have opinions. Hi, I'm the Flippy Thrumbo, also known as the Dumbass. I like guns and tanks and stuff that go bang, but yeah. Funnies. Poo poo fart.
Yeah,
Wow.
sure.
Professional.
Yes.
Rude.
Frat
Yeah.
House.
Hi, I'm Frat House. I'm fat. That's about it.
Damn, he's fat.
Damn.
Lewis.
Oh, and I'm also a ginger.
I thought Jackal's before, man.
I'm Jackal 4. I mostly appreciate fictional combat vehicles.
Okay.
I'm also a college kid.
Okay, you
Okay.
go down, Lewis.
Alright, well, hi, I'm Lewis.
Lewis,
I have not much insight, but technical stuff, yes, I got a degree in computer science. I'm also an alcoholic. That's about it.
No, I'm the group alcoholic.
You're the professional alcoholic. They're just a casual alcoholic. There's a slight difference.
Alcoholic. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, move
One
on.
second.
You go first. Go Saddleback now.
Yeah, I'm Saddleback. Don't know much about anything, but I have an opinion, basically.
You also know how wine works.
Yeah.
There, you steal my completely original intro.
And
Yeah.
last but not least, I am the one literate redneck in the deep south. Because why
Alright,
not?
so after that, I need a little fun factoid about myself. I like bullying Thrumbo because it's funny.
I give them full permission to bully me as long as it's funny.
So Twitch, hear me out. Leave us alone. Thrumbo gave me permission to do it. I will sign documents if I have to.
Anyway,
Twitch post
I'm going to say
policy
something
documents.
completely unhinged that will get us banned.
No, that's my job.
Anyways,
No,
so what is
no.
the first subject of the day, since we're...
Doge.
Today's subject.
Today's
You're not gonna
subject.
believe. Hold up. You're not gonna believe this.
Governmental efficiency.
Oh, what
Oh,
have
good
you on
lord.
done now? I'm going to believe quite a lot about these days.
It's Okay, here's the issue right now. You're not gonna believe this, but fucking Pittsburgh wants in.
Oh,
What?
No.
Too late.
Oh Lord!
no, it's
It's
not.
too late.
No, it's
Tell
not.
him it's too
No.
late for him getting.
Too late. Too many
Alright.
people.
What's Doge doing?
Let's just get on with the
Uh,
topic before more people
yeah.
try and join. Let's
Yeah.
get on with the fucking. Let's get on with the shit show.
Doge. The people saving pennies, calling it billions.
Nothing about Doge. I'm unqualified on this. I'll be here for the memes.
Department are doing fuck all. I mean, yes, the Doge is a great idea. Let's make underfunded government agencies even more underfunded.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
inefficiencies with
And
the U.S.
undermanned,
government,
too.
but their goal isn't
Yeah.
to get rid of the inefficiencies. It's like their goal is to get rid of, their enemies.
Now,
Yeah.
you see,
And
if this
call
was,
it.
so if this was an actual business, if the US was a company and this was a business, this money-saving tactic is a good idea. You're cutting down things that you think you don't need or that you don't need. As a
Yeah.
country, you can't do that because this is a nation-level thing. You can't just cut entire agencies. This is not a
Yep.
business; it's a country.
I
It's
mean,
different. And Doge
There
doesn't
are
understand-
ways to cut, a proper social medicine system. Even if they did like a public-private system, would save money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that'd be socialism. So
Yeah. But it's
Really?
also like you've also got the two people who really shouldn't be in charge of anything to do with efficiency,
Who are they?
and the fact is all the stuff which has been, let's just say, currently being litigated in courts, and statements contradicting each other about who's in charge.
Yeah.
The
So,
Department of
Elon
Justice-
Musk was an
actually,
all-
hang on. I'm going to drop the biggest bombshell on every man, woman, and child known to Earth. The Department of Government Efficiency, and by extent Elon Musk, is literally there purely because he gave a lot of money to the funny orange man, and he is calling in favors. That's
Oh, yeah.
usually
So-
what happens to when someone who is usually either unqualified or shouldn't be in a position that they are given a position, or they make one up. It's because I gave you a lot of money, I want some funnies, and so they give you the closest thing to the funnies that you get the funnies, but they try and mitigate the amount of actual funny that you can do. So, for
Okay,
example, if I gave Trump $50 bajillion for his campaign, and I said, I want to be, and I want an important government position with, all the Playboy emporiums possible, they would find a way to meet that, or at the very least satisfy me, without causing any large-scale damage, if they're smart.
Oh yeah, no. The problem is,
However,
If you're
that
smart.
plan was
that's the fucking
executed
problem.
dumbly.
It's the problem is
Can I comment
he's
on
been
that?
allowed to run away with it.
Yep. He was given
can-
a position of power, but not properly regulated.
I mean,
So,
this is
bunch
what
of people-
happens when a terrible businessman and a used to be all right businessman decide that they can get into government.
I mean, no, Donald
Yeah.
Trump was never a good businessman. He bankrupted 6 fucking casinos.
I wasn't saying that. I
he
wasn't.
was
I was
referring
saying
to
that
Elon
Elon
as
Musk. He was all right. Back when he was running Tesla, he was pretty
Can
good.
I comment? Can I comment on this?
To be fair,
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
these were always the opinions of Elon Musk. We just took a while to realize them because.
Oh no! He's always been an idiot. I mean, like he's
When it comes
never
to,
been the genius that.
Are we gonna let
like-
Lois
Yeah,
Okay.
are we
comment or not?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, what I was
Okay,
gonna
so-
say. Sorry, Lewis.
Fuck's sake. Alright. What I was going to say was Elon has never really been a businessman. He's a really good frontman for businesses. He can't run a business. It's always been people in the back that have run businesses, and he's just been the media front for them. Such as people like to point to PayPal as his thing. PayPal wasn't his thing. Someone else started PayPal. He brought it, made it worse, and then he sold it, and then they made it better.
Speaking of
He-
PayPal,
He didn't buy it.
yeah.
He didn't buy it. He forcibly took it over.
Well, yeah. PayPal isn't his.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Speaking of which,
It's a thing
The
a
thing
lot of
with-
people like to point to.
Yeah,
Yep.
A
similarly,
lot of the businesses
speaking
people
on-
claim that he is responsible for, he simply just showed up, put a lot of money into it, and then called it a
became a
day,
front.
and then stole all the work, and said that he's so super cool special, and then people just believe it because in the words of someone who I was receiving a course from, individuals can be smart, crowds are always stupid.
Well,
Yeah, but keep in mind,
That
Musk-
is very
Okay.
true.
Jackal, goddamn. In the case of Elon Musk, he, like a lot of other business owners, or at least billionaires and millionaires, they usually like to stick outside of the political spectrum because it allows them to make more money. But the thing is about Elon, he has his own beliefs due to his upbringing. For reference, he is white South African. Take from
Yeah,
that what you will. But
As far as we know, his family was
So-
involved in emerald mining and possibly diamond mining in South Africa.
blood money.
He
He's an
grew up
apartheid
during
African.
under the apartheid state, and he grew up
Yeah, he-
during the apartheid state. This,
Yeah,
whether he liked it or not, knowingly or not, would color his opinion on the world as a whole. This happens to everybody, regardless of age, sex, gender, preference, religion, and so on. Based off of how you grow up, there is usually some kind of impact to that.
Yeah. Like
yes, that
me,
is true. And
So,
same
for example,
other business owners. Like,
as I am growing, I made to grow up in America with me not being able to get a driver's license, since I was being moved around a lot, while other factors, well, made me not really allowed to have a driver's license by 16. It helped. And I also grew up with around a lot of social media, so social media has heavily affected my political opinion. Specifically, some left, a lot of right. So it has let me become a major pusher for radically anti-urban, like car-dependent urban development.
okay, I didn't make any sense.
I wasn't trying to say that Elon Musk was a genius or anything. I think he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Being a good CEO isn't actually difficult. It's, choosing the right people and listening to them and then not cocking it up. He made one good decision in his life, and it was holding on to Tesla when everyone told him not to abandon it. And that was the one time he made a good decision. And that was, his stubbornness happening to work out for him.
Are you sure about that
Sorry.
now?
Century.
Well, that's secondary.
Century. I wasn't.
But
I wasn't
the thing about
trying to say. I wasn't trying to say that you were. What's it called? That you were making him out to be some sort of genius. I was just saying to the potential audience that he is not a good businessman. That he never was a
Yeah.
good businessman. That's all I was saying. I didn't.
That's
consider
fair.
myself-
Being a businessman and a CEO are two very different things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that clearly that he hasn't understood how they work. Right, one was so Elon Musk and his Doge got people to, we've got these people who are clearly, like something like 150 years old, assuming, who are apparently taking money. That's not what's going on. What's happening is that is, if there is no birth year for whatever reason in the system, it takes a certain year. It takes a specific year. But they couldn't get that through their head. And these are the people going through the government with a buzzsaw.
oh boy. But in the case of Elon Musk, he's different from a lot of other CEOs because, like I was saying before, or trying to say before, business owners, the people with money, they typically don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to put they may have political opinions one way or the other, but they don't want to say them due to wanting to be able to make money across the board. But Elon, his policies being colored by his beliefs growing up again in apartheid South Africa, he's thrown his weight and his money into
the closest thing that fits with his core beliefs, and that being what we currently have.
You can remember, Elon has a lot of influence and a lot of money, and he now has a voice to say that through being Trump in government.
Yeah.
This man now has a massive voice with a lot of money and a lot of backing behind him to push whatever he wants. And that's a very dangerous in the hands of the wrong people, such as himself.
Yeah.
And also, no one elected Elon Musk into this sort of
No,
office.
they didn't.
No, he is not a government employee. At
Remember
least.
when they
Well,
used to...
Well, you say that, Rumbo.
Why not?
Well, okay, officially he's not, but because the Orange Man is letting him doing what he wants, it puts the implication and perception that he is an employee. It's one of those things where you're officially not, but you kind of are.
No, but
It's-
Donald Trump at the State
but
of the
why would-
Union explicitly said Elon Musk was in charge.
Yeah, and yet in
Oh.
courts, when it
Yeah,
comes
I
to
would-
litigating what Doge can and can't do, they're saying, oh no, Elon Musk is not the person in charge of Doge. And it's like, well, is he or isn't he?
So
I
I
mean-
would consider him to be a government official, especially now because he has
Well, he
a
is.
government
Yeah.
email. He has a government email now as well. She's officially government email.
Yeah.
Also, a big problem is that Doge is one of the big litigation things. Is Doge is trying to get rid of things which they call congressionally improved funds. The problem is it's actually once
That's
Congress approves those. Yeah,
But
that's
it
what
can't
Doge-
be revoked unless it's Congress who does
Yeah.
it.
yeah, but it seems like Elon and his friends are still trying to go ahead with that, and wow,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Works.
I
should
put
be
some stuff
easy
in
to say
the
he's
side
breaking
chat.
rules because he's messing with government money, which he can't. But here we are.
I mean, I am surprised that I haven't heard much noise from the veterans, because the VA, which is already fucked as it is
that's
getting
more fucked.
gutted.
Yeah, no.
Wait, the VA's getting gutted?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
It's
I
fucking
put
really
in the
annoying.
side chat. I don't know if y'all have seen it. Yeah, it's illegal to boycott Tesla, according to Trump.
Huh?
According to Trump,
That's-
it's illegal to
That's a-
boycott a company.
Okay, can I read this off?
But
Can I read this
reply-
off?
Alright, go.
How has?
Alright,
It
am I
feels like
allowed to read
he's-
this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I allowed to
Read
read
it.
this? with no
Yeah, go
instructions?
ahead.
Go ahead.
Read this.
To Republicans, conservatives, and all great Americans, Elon Musk is putting it on the line in order to help our nation, and he is doing a fantastic job. But the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to illegally and
Collusively.
that's it, collusively boycott Tesla, one of the world's greatest automakers, and Elon's,
Baby.
in quotes, baby.
One of his many.
In order to attack and do harm to Elon. What the fuck is this man waffling about, bro? And everything he stands for. They tried to do it to, they tried to do it to me. They tried to do it to me at the 2024 presidential.
I
Jack
am.
Still reading. They tried to do it to me at the 2024 presidential ballot box. But how did that work? In any event, I'm going to buy a brand new Tesla tomorrow morning as a show of confidence and support for Elon Musk, a truly great American.
Which he is not.
He's replacing the beast with the Cybertruck. He's replacing the beast with
Why
the
should
Cybertruck.
Why
Counterpoint.
Why should we be pushed? Why should we be pushed? No, sorry. Why should we be pushed from putting his tremendous skill? Why should we be punished? For putting his tremendous skills to work in order to help to make America great again. This is an official. I'm gonna check this post. I'm actually gonna go to Twitter and check this.
Please.
It's not Twitter, that's True Social. That's True Social.
Yeah.
That says that it is. Where is it? Is this an actual post? Let me check.
That is True Social.
Counterpoint. Tesla stock's at $230 a share.
Maybe I should buy
Uh,
some. Fuck no, I'm
About
not doing that.
29%.
No, they've
29%.
lost more than half since 17th December 2022.
Wow,
We've also
Yeah.
declared a national emergency on electricity because Canada's raising electricity prices.
Wow, they're
Uh,
raising electricity. It's almost like we had a special deal with them that made it so it was extra cheap. It was like, sorry, my dad's an environmental economist in mining, and he's, it's ridiculous how much discounted the Canadians discounted hydroelectricity power for us.
If I may
And
point
yet-
something out, I have something I want to ask. Lewis, on a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk are you?
I am like a solid 3 or 4 even coming into this.
Don't
Fair
even
enough.
swear.
Perfect English. How the fuck?
I'm
yeah,
saying-
that. Yeah, you are speaking.
But
really
okay.
good.
I
This
have
is-
gone. I'm looking at I'm looking at Donald Trump's page right now. I can't find anything on the actual statement. I can't find the actual statement.
Is okay.
Yeah, because
It's
it's on
on-
Truth Social.
That's on Truth Social, not Twitter.
Oh, Truth Social. Fuck it. Hang on a minute.
Truth Social.
Considering that Donald Trump, only really gets his
Well, you
information
can't get it-
from
you
Truth
can't get it
Social
without
and
making an
Twitter,
account. Fuck off.
it is entirely possible and profitable for Elon to customize 2 entire algorithms just for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also on Facebook, this was posted at 1:30 a.m. Peasley. Yeah, it's
And this
just.
is- So this is one.
It
get
makes me
me.
want to punch something.
They're talking about, saving $2 billion. What is that to the U.S. budget, really?
Nothing.
Talking about, was
That is
basically
nothing.
like propaganda. Have you seen
2 billion.
those ads
Okay, so this
recently?
is something actually. So
So
this is something that a lot of politicians of all shapes and sizes will do to try and convince people that no, they're actually the cool guy. Especially when it comes to things like governmental spending. They do it over here in Australia with the Liberals and whatnot. They use numbers, like big numbers. Like, for example, Peter
Yeah.
Dutton recently addressed to our current Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, that we need to have a very serious conversation about immigration. Over the past year, or past 2 years, I think it was, over 1 million immigrants had been let into the country, which is technically correct. There was about 1 million immigrants that had been let into the country, but he leaves it at that before he starts waffling on about how Anthony Albanese is like this totally evil guy. You should vote for. The reason that we let in over 1 million people over the course of the past year and a half is
Yeah.
because during COVID, you were still allowed to apply for all the different papers and stuff that you would need to immigrate. They just
So
didn't let you
basically-
in yet. They're like, hey, we're going to put you on
Physically-
hold because the country is in
Yeah.
lockdown. And so over Albanese's government, which had taken charge after COVID, had already hit and done all its
Yeah.
funnies. And so what they were doing was simply processing all of those requests and all of those paperwork, which
Well,
a lot
so
of that
essentially-
law and legislation had been set up by liberal governments years past. If you want to draw it all the way back, most of this anyway, you can draw it back to John Howard. That's his name. I almost said Todd Howard. 2 different people. So
who's the
Todd
better
Howard,
person?
I
I mean-
just did it.
I
Fuck.
mean, that would be a way to reduce immigration to Australia. Put Todd Howard in charge. 'Cause it wouldn't work. The system wouldn't work.
He would create a duplication glitch.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I want to eventually
Okay,
move to
well-
Australia. Don't do that.
Are you on the spectrum?
No.
Ah, damn.
Okay.
Alright.
I was about to say, if you were on the spectrum and diagnosed, congratulations, you're not coming.
Yo,
Yeah,
I found the actual post. I found the post.
Oh, you found
So
that.
the
course.
Australian government has a
God.
very, very interesting policy when it comes to people on the spectrum. It is inconsistently enforced as far as I am aware. It depends if the government feels like upholding it or not. If you're on the spectrum, it is entirely within the government's right to say no, you're not coming, because that will make the whole system more complicated. which in reality is just them not wanting to deal with the fact that autistic people are different, and that they are incredibly behind on what we do know about people on the spectrum, which is also incredibly behind on what people actually deal with.
Yeah.
That is fucking stupid, man.
This is the sort of I'm just going to side chat. This is the sort of spending Doge goes after.
I have just made a Truth Social account just so I can keep up on the dumb shit that he posts on there.
I'm just frustrated that we're pulling out of NATO and we're not getting any military budget cuts. Like, are we trying to, focus on ourselves, or are we not?
Not only have I made a Truth Social account, I have followed him, JD Vance, and Kennedy. What's fucking the Republican Kennedy?
Just say brainworm.
Yeah, Brainworm Kennedy.
Brainworm, couch fucker, and carrot. Got it.
Yeah,
hey, that's an insult to perfectly edible carrots, which apparently someone is having a war against carrots. I don't remember who or what.
Right. But anyway,
it was like a leftist group of some description.
Just so I can keep you guys updated on what they're saying. But yeah, I now follow these. Follow these three people.
Also, honestly, I don't really keep up with the news because it feels like taking a 1d4, 2d6 psychic damage every day. So, but didn't when you mention how Trump's position on Ukraine shifted?
Oh,
yeah. I bring that up, but I never.
His opinion on a lot of things change violently depending how he's feeling.
No, it's just whoever's in his ear at that moment. Trump is just a megaphone. It's whoever's in his fucking ear at that moment, he'll fucking spew out.
He really likes William McKinley. That seems like a genuine opinion of his own. I don't know how he got. I don't know how he learned about William McKinley.
Hey, Trumbo.
Yeah.
Do you think I could put the list in the side chat that I sent you a few days ago?
Is still fucking stupid.
Of what? All possible, of all the funny launches.
Do you think we'd be able to talk about that openly on Twitch?
I don't think so, and I would rather not test
it. Send it to me. I can tell you yes or no.
Okay, I'll pop it in the side chat, and you guys can make a decision on whether or not we talk about this on Twitch.
So you know how I said that Doge, how Elon Musk's Doge reduced the efficacy of the VA. This is a post by them on the 6th of March. We owe America's veteran solutions. Yeah, sounds like a final solution.
What is your opinion on the thing that I posted?
Oh no.
Okay, wanted to move on to something else.
Yeah, maybe not yet.
I have a bit more information than some, I guess. In the case of that, bullet points are Ukraine met with the U.S. in Saudi Arabia. They agreed to a ceasefire. The U.S. and Ukraine, assuming Russia agreed to it, in exchange for U.S. resuming aid as well as intelligence sharing. But spoiler alert,
I feel so sorry.
It happened a couple hours.
Well, yes and no. See, Ukraine, it would be assuming Russia agrees to this and that this ceasefire goes through, because we have seen that with other parts of the world where a ceasefire has been agreed and then it falls through due to funnies.
Rumbo. You're assuming that I don't already have an answer for the Kremlin already.
Oh,
and that is your.
What have they said?
A Kremlin official has already responded that Russia will not agree to the ceasefire.
Right.
That sounds about right.
So, yeah, that happened a couple of hours ago.
Why? Strategically, I'm not an expert on military matters, but I feel like a ceasefire is in Russia's benefit right now.
Right now,
it
Russia
would be
is advancing. Technically, right now, Russia is advancing.
One sec.
Well, let's just ignore the fact that the Ukrainians are making a secondary push into their.
From
what I've heard, Ukraine is making a second push within the Kursk Oblast. They are trading unadvantageous positions in exchange for trying to secure more advantageous positions. Apparently, they hit a oil refinery somewhere within Russia, and
Yeah.
this would make very honestly, from my lukewarm strategic understanding, this makes no sense to either side not to follow through with. Because think of it this way: you have 30 days to build up some kind of. You have 30 days to prepare for either a incoming enemy offensive or to prepare for your own, or both. This would be beneficial for either side, let alone both. Because again, you get to prepare. That means you could, like, 30 days, I don't know, you could build a tank or something. Or a couple of tanks, maybe for the Russians, they could pull one out of the warehouse and get it running again,
I don't know.
maybe.
Maybe if we're going to assume that Putin is being logical, or at least, or even thinking, his assumption is that Europe can give Ukraine more stuff in that 30 days than Russia can get from China and North Korea.
Ukraine, well, not only Ukraine, sorry, just militaries in general, you can do a lot of stuff in 30 days.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
again, you can move stuff around. It gives them time, and if there's one thing that any army will probably pay almost anything for, it's time to prepare. Because if you've played any generic real-time strategy game, you will notice real quick that if someone is in the middle of something and you get the ability to just be like, no, just stop time.
Yeah.
Or, stop enemy advances.
Time is the most
You can, like, redeploy your entire army and then just knock them into next week.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Time is
I'm not a
the most
military
valuable
expert.
resource any
Why do you
nation
think
has.
everybody, myself included, loves smashing the pause button?
Oh.
Pause it.
Yeah.
You have, like, that one kid who, like, when you're playing like tag in your schoolyard, and you have that one kid who, like, abuses the pause feature, like, no, I paused the game, you can't tell me.
Yeah.
I get to run away
Time,
now.
the ability to sync, the ability to act,
So
everything.
it would be within both sides' best interests to stall for time. But we got to keep in mind, Putin is, I don't know what he's doing. Pardon me. But
No one he does, really, to be honest.
it would be within someone's reason to believe that he's probably not thinking sensibly.
No, that's what happens when you surround yourself with yes men. Because you don't think, you're just like, oh, this is happening. My people say it's good. I'm just gonna believe it.
Yeah, when you're surrounded by yes men, it can be very hard to actually. This is kind of a reoccurring theme. This is actually something that dials back to the Soviet Union as well, where due to the way that communication was set up, you usually ended up having no idea what was going on down on the ground of whatever was happening. This is why the Chernobyl nuclear accident was so fucking bad and its response was so delayed. Was that you had to get information from the guys on the ground to their immediate superior, who then relays it to his superior, who relays it to his superior until it reached Gorbachev. And by the time that it reached Gorbachev, what he was told was so far removed from what was happening, on top of the fact that they didn't really know exactly what was happening until the nuclear experts arrived. If you watch, was it a Netflix series or was it a movie? The Chernobyl thing.
Yeah.
You can get an insight
HBO.
into the... Oh, HBO? Okay. You can get an insight into how bad the information transmission was from boots on the ground to up to the very top. So... and Russia is experiencing a very similar issue now, because despite the fact that Russia and the Soviet Union are two very different countries, it seems that Russia has inherited a lot of the debuffs that broke the Soviet Union without any of the buffs of the Soviet Union, such as its massive industry and massive population, because it lost about
industries
half
in
of
Ukraine.
it. Yeah, most of the industry and stuff was in Ukraine and Belarus. Most of the good OKBs, which were the Soviet Union's design bureaus, a lot of those were either Belarusian or Ukrainian. Like, what was it? Sukhoi was made up of Ukrainians out of Kyiv, but the Russians just did a Kuznetsov and stole it.
Then there's the Kharkiv tank factory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, the whole lot is just it's
The only tank factory I think the Russians managed to keep was Tankergrad because it was in the middle of I think it's in the middle of Siberia. It's like over near the
if we're
Urals.
going to mention tanks, actually just think about tanks.
Link is a tank museum.
Think about
I don't
tanks
think they
for a
do
second.
factory stuff
Have
anymore.
you seen that Russia is now deploying donkeys to their units for logistics?
They did a
I
cavalry.
guess the Germans are back in town.
No, they did a cavalry charge. What the fuck you're talking about? That's old news. They did.
Whoa, what the fuck are we
cavalry?
Yes,
they're mobilizing the Cossacks again. Fucking finally.
So we have video of light mounted infantry doing patrols through a town, right? If they're doing patrols through a town on light mounted infantry, that means A, they've run out of fucking motorcycles. And
I mean, at this point, just pack it in, man.
And since we've seen them do motorcycle assaults, if they're out of motorcycles, that means if they're going to be using horses, they're going to be using horses for those same assaults.
Yeah.
So I want purely for my own sanity to make the benefit of a doubt that they're just using, because over here in Australia as well, we have police cavalry. We have police people, we have police nerds on horse. So for the sake of my own sanity, I want to believe that it's just that, even though there is a very high likelihood that, they're just running cavalry at machine guns. It's just World War One again. It's not even World War One on the Eastern Front, because the Eastern Front during World War One was relatively mobile. It was maneuver warfare. Over in the Western Front, it was, I have been in this trench for 6 months. I am now going to get thrown over at that trench that has killed my friends and family.
It's just like, it goes from, they're digging trenches, to, they're using a gas just that's, sort of like mustard gas, to now they're charging cavalry into machine guns. What's next?
Well, see, a lot of actually, this is something that
they're gonna pull out those old Mark II.
So a lot of people like to think that this is the first time that trench warfare has been used in a.
No, Iran.
Yeah, I was about to say Iran or the Iran-Iraq War, the first one. I think there was two.
No,
the first one. Oh, there was only one. Okay. The Iran-Iraq War back in the 90s or 80s, somewhere around there.
80s, because in 91 we touched Iraq a little too hard.
Yeah.
Not hard enough because you went back in during 03.
I mean, at that point we were just doing a victory lap.
No. How the fuck did we go from the most successful, best post World War II American war to the worst?
If you're talking about Afghanistan, it's because there is fuck all in Afghanistan.
No, I mean Iraq 2003. I honestly think
it's called guerrilla warfare.
What a surprise!
Highly trained armies are not good
Iraq
at
is a perfectly They did end up doing what they set out to do, for the most part. What was it? Toppling the Hussein government.
Yeah, it was the idea that was stupid.
Oh, probably was. Whether that I can't comment on because I'm too stupid.
Yeah.
But they did set out on what they attempted to do. Topple the Assad government, replace it with a more Western democracy. The biggest hiccup they had along the way was the different terrorist groups that took advantage of a now unstable situation with with Hussein's last thing he did before, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. He opened up all of the stock houses and armories and stuff to the people.
Well, no. It's even worse than you think. So there was a moment where the Iraq War was always 2003 was always a bad idea, but there was a moment it went from bad to unrepentant disaster, and it was the moment when originally one of the generals just wanted to turn Iraq into democracy and leave immediately, but then some Bush guy came in and he fired all of the army, the entire Iraqi army at once.
Oh yeah, he tried to
demilitarize it.
Debaathize
Yeah, because he basically tried to pull a denazification on the Ba'athist party. They love Ba'aths.
They love the
The
Ba'aths.
Ba'athist government.
They wanted to completely de-radicalize and de-ideologicalize the Hussein government, which meant that anyone and everyone who was a member of the whatever,
Ba'athist.
was now immediately no longer allowed to have a job. Guess what most of the army was? Both the officers and infantrymen.
Ba'athist.
Members of the Ba'athist party, because in order to maintain loyalty, within like the main parts of the Iraqi government, because with a dictatorship, you don't have to keep the minds and hearts of the people per se. You have to keep the minds and hearts of the people in the keys to power. So that's things like, it's your chief of staff. So things like your bureaucrats and your military generals, all the people that sort of keep the machine running, because no man rules alone.
Yes, I've seen the CGP Grey video.
Yeah, and so in order to maintain loyalty of, as much of those keys to power, every member, or most, if not all, military members were a Ba'athist party member. And so, all of a sudden, they were now out of a job, and they were forbade to hold pretty much any job within Iraq. So, they had mouths to feed, whether we like it or not. And all of a sudden, Osama wasn't dead yet.
Yeah.
Well, by the time of ISIS, he was more than dead, but,
What, Osama?
Yeah, Osama bin Laden, but
He was killed in 2011.
11. So by the
No,
time that,
2012 was...
Because wasn't there, like, 2 or 3 different phases of insurgency?
So it comes down to the Al-Qaeda civil war. When bin Laden died, 3 separate factions within Al-Qaeda started bickering. And then one decided to start shooting the other factions. The one that decided to start shooting the other factions is what we now know as ISIS.
I mean, I heard it's a little more like ISIS. Al-Qaeda in Iraq was never really that like related to Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, anyways, from my understanding.
So Al-Qaeda in Iraq versus Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan were related purely by name.
Yes. Purely by name,
They were
purely by the same goal.
They were 2 completely different. Other than that, they were 2 different entities.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that funny ghost people group in the US. Mm.
You gotta remember, GWAT is my tism. I've literally written books on GWAT.
How the fuck can... No, I'm not gonna ask. Okay.
I have published writings on the global war on terror.
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ.
What a fucking disaster that was.
It was. Let's just call it a funny.
So with the Jesus Christ! So with Iraq, if we're still talking about Iraq,
Yeah.
talking about just Iraq or almost the global terror in general here, because if we're talking about just Iraq, there was 3 main notable stages of Iraq. There was the initial invasion, the surge, and then the pullout.
Okay.
The pullout of Iraq went completely different to the pullout of Afghanistan, because the pullout of Iraq was executed properly. They slowly pulled everyone out over a period of like 3-4 years. They got everyone out. That was completely fine. The difference between the 2 is Afghanistan was complicated.
I don't know.
Not really.
I just know that if I was a general in Afghanistan, watching whatever happened in Iraq, like a completely pointless war based on a lie, I'd be frustrated because Afghanistan was like always going to be a hard thing to pull off, but like at least we had a reason to be there.
Yeah.
Like at least there was like I don't know how we should have handled Afghanistan. I don't know if Afghanistan was ever like a winnable situation. We could ever get rid of Taliban,
No.
but at least
Yeah.
know that it probably would have went at least slightly better if we didn't spend way too much resources on Iraq.
So with the Taliban, you can never get rid of a group like the Taliban completely. They're never going to go fucking anywhere.
Yeah, religious
Um,
extremism is
also,
always can be a problem.
so the difference between when they went into Iraq, when they went to Afghanistan, Afghanistan didn't have a standing government. It was a bunch of tribes and organizations that were fighting for government. Had an established government. It was Saddam. It was the Ba'athist government. So the difference was in Iraq, they're fighting a country that has a government and has an actual leadership, and they're they work together. So you can intercept that and you can use that to your advantage. You can't do that with a country like Afghanistan because they don't have that.
They didn't necessarily have a centralized government or a centralized identity.
Technically, it was Al Qaeda, but it was actually Al Qaeda was the ruling government during 2001 and 2. During 2001 and 2002, Al Qaeda was the ruling government. However, as soon as Osama realized that America was coming, he ran off into the mountains like a little bitch and then hid in Pakistan.
Well, he did what the CIA had trained him to do when he'd worked for the Mujahideen.
Yeah, which was run off into the mountains like a little bitch and hide in Pakistan.
I mean, it fucking worked.
Yeah,
Give him
no,
that.
we didn't
hide
get
and
into
seek
2011.
champion 11 years running.
Exactly, we didn't get into it too well. 10.
Yeah, it's.
God. God, Pakistan is fucked these days, man.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I haven't
Pakistan is
heard much out of Pakistan. The only
No,
thing
yeah,
I know that they are
mostly-
really like the only thing I know
mostly
that
shit with
happens
the Indians.
is the only thing I know that happens out of Pakistan is cricket, but that's because cricket is a massive thing in a lot of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, in
Pakistan
America,
is really fucking good at cricket.
yeah,
Um,
America
Pakistan and
beat
India-
them.
Pakistan and India don't get along. They're not.
No, I mean, I'm
They-
referring to the issue with the Pashtuns in Pakistan and like the fact
and
that the
border
GTP.
conflict.
Yeah.
The border is still very much actively in dispute.
I
between
remember seeing a
Pakistan and India.
video which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
of-
brilliant. Frack.
It was a border conflict between, I think it was Indians and Pakis. Pakistanis? I don't know.
Please
Whatever.
don't use that Pakistani. Don't.
Okay, Pakistani. I don't know. Between Indian and Pakistan border guards. They were smacking each other with sticks.
Oh well, that's because there's a treaty in the Himalayas to not use guns. So most of the fights between China and
They use
India, they use. Well, they
Sticks and blunt objects.
yeah.
Which I saw a meme of it where it was one of those conflicts, and played over it was like the audio from Mountain Blade gameplay. Which I thought was absolutely hilarious because you're watching as these border guards are going absolutely ham on each other with sticks, and it's like smacking each other. It was
I don't know much about the whole India-Pakistan thing, but I do know enough to arguably say the quote border conflict has been going on for so long that can we just consider it an actual conflict at this point?
I mean,
Yeah.
they started bombing Afghanistan.
I know the main conflict between the Indians, the Pakistan, and Chinese government all started over the region of Kashmir and Jammu. I think that's what its name was. Because when the British left India and stuff, they initially
And Ladakh.
drew it on old administration grounds of the British Raj, which was the I've forgotten their official names, but it was like the larger Indian government. There was a smaller nation in the another nation in the middle of India. Then there was Pakistan, which made up modern day Pakistan and Bangladesh. Then there was Kashmir and Jammu.
Isn't Bangladesh run by its own government?
It used to be, but what was it? So the one that was like inside India got eaten up by India one way or another really quickly. The one from Kashmir and Jammu, I think they started getting invaded by Pakistan, and they approached the Indian government. It's like, we're being invaded, please help us. And they're like, yeah.
And the issue is, the question is, did from my understanding, it's debatable whether or not the people of Kashmir wanted Pakistan or India.
Yeah, so the government of Kashmir approached the Indian government's like, we're being invaded or we're being annexed or whatever it was. And it's like, please help me. And the Indian government was willing to oblige under the clause that they become a part of India, which they then he begrudgingly agreed to.
I just saw something. It's happened again. Look at side chat.
Oh god,
what happened?
It's happened again. Where the White House is boasting about economics as the fucking stock is tanking.
They didn't learn their lesson the first time.
Fucking learn their lesson the first time.
Oh no!
And the best bit is,
it's
Trump
like
said,
clockwork, baby.
And Trump said, if the Dow Jones goes down by 1,000 points in 2 days, the president should be impeached.
That's
well,
false.
Here we go. In one speech, it's gone down 726.
He never tweeted that. That was
tragically.
PolitiFact went through and did that. He never tweeted that. That was somebody, for the first time ever, a actual liberal doctored a photo. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while you get someone accusing Donald Trump of saying something.
It's the
usually when Donald Trump is saying, when you hear that Donald Trump said something stupid, he said it.
Yeah, there is always the one in a million chance where someone's like, "Oh, he said it dumb," and then it turns out that he
more like 100 on average.
I mean, here's my thoughts on this. At this point, as an American, Trump is crazy, but Biden was senile. So in the race
but
between
Biden
those,
wasn't running.
The president, but
I mean,
I'm saying early on, Joe Biden was running, and he dropped out of the race. But I'm saying early on, it was a case of crazy man versus senile man. Which one do you want?
I would rather.
Well, if we're going off of a lot of the conspiracy theories and whatnot, it wasn't even Biden that was running the presidency. It was either Harris or the shadow government. Which,
I mean, here's how I put that argument. I would rather the person who's pulled over the side of the road asleep than the person who's actively trying to crash the car.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't know. I think Biden, when he actually did things, did generally all right things. The issue is just didn't. The administration never did anything. It's like some of the economic.
They got blocked by Congress and shit all the time. They got blocked by Congress and stuff, left, right, and bloody center.
Yeah.
Because yes, spoiler alert: the president runs at the pleasure of Congress. If Congress wants, they can be like, you're out," and then throw out the president. That's what an impeachment is for.
Yeah.
Kinda.
The main reason
it's not just like a like in a parliamentary system where they can just vote no confidence.
Well, no, it doesn't work like that. It's not like a congratulations, you're fired. There is a whole process behind it, but you got to remember, we're talking to normal people who don't have enough time for that.
Yeah.
So when the process is done, it's like, congratulations, you're fired. in the case of Orange Man, if the impeachment went through back when he was president in during his 2016 administration, he could have gone to prison for some of the stuff they were trying to throw him under for.
No. The problem is impeachment is not does not go into the judicial branch. So even though he could have been impeached as president, the judicial branch would have to do their own investigation.
So, okay,
Yeah,
so
basically.
it comes
But
down.
then
it
again,
comes
he
down to
did
this.
have multiple cases against him, though.
So when a president gets impeached, right? It has to you're wrong about the judiciary thing. The judiciary only can get involved once the Senate has all come in and decided he has actually committed the crime and he should be punished. When Trump got impeached, he committed the crime. They got that through. But they could not get the he should be punished through. If they get that he should be punished through vote out, then the judicial has to come in and then, actually convict him. Because at that
So wait,
remember, this is a
he was officially impeached?
Twice. He was officially impeached twice.
How the fuck was he allowed to run for president again?
Because in the United States, unless you can be impeached, but unless they do the vote to say you should be punished,
you're allowed to run.
Yeah, you're allowed to run again.
Yeah, I mean, impeachment is a flawed system. I do kind of wish we had just a normal parliamentary system.
Yeah, and also because that second vote to pass, you needed a 60% majority.
Yeah.
Which you just, with how Trump stacked his party, there's just no way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah, congratulations to Trump, the first president who managed to get convicted twice before Congress, yet still managed to have 2 terms.
Yep, and now he's got, 35 felonies?
Yeah.
35
Our
felonies
first
in the state of New
fucking
York.
criminal president. Congratulations.
They've got at least one.
I mean, jeez. 35 felonies is insane.
34 felonies.
34?
34, okay, I thought it was 35.
Yeah.
Nah, it's 35 billion now. I've just fudged the
Honestly,
numbers.
once you get past 8 felonies, I mean, like, as a
You should
billion.
not be allowed any
One felony is too many. 35 or 34.
Well, no. There's like a difference between like a poor kid who's trying to make it and has to do some tough things, and then a billionaire who should have no reason to do dirty things.
Yeah.
I think actually, since we're talking about that reminds me of there's like a philosophical question that a lot of people like to peg when it comes to like, poor people. It's like, if the man It's like, if the man steals the bread to feed his starving family, is he at fault? Like, is he guilty? And my answer is, well, no, it's the state that is guilty for letting him be in this position in the first place. 9 times out of 10, most destitute people do not rock up there purely off of their own decisions. It is a failure, not a failure, it is a matter of circumstance, especially when you apply the fact that a majority of the population of the US, and to some extent Australia, I don't know about other countries, don't ask me, a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, which means they are one bad paycheck away from being homeless.
Disaster, yeah.
And once you go homeless, it is very fucking hard to get back out, or to get out of homelessness.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, yeah, no.
Especially when it's on your own.
No, my point wasn't that, like, a normal person getting a felony, I could see a scenario where things went wrong with you. If you're a billionaire getting a felony, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, he got his for tax evasion, so that's how it,
Wait, tax evasion is a felony?
Yes.
Yeah, if it's high enough.
Yeah.
If you did it, if it was enough.
Damn, that's funny.
If you purposely
funnily
inflate
enough,
the value
it's
of your
also been
casinos
like-
just to bankrupt them years later, yes, that is a felony.
I mean-
essentially, historically, even speaking, this is how
Al Capone went
Al
down.
Capone got caught. Not
Yeah, because
for
you didn't
actual
report
money
it depends on the
laundering.
amount you
Yeah.
tax evade. Is there like misdemeanor tax evasion if you tax
Nope,
evade
if you-
2,000?
Nope, it is
If you- it
straight
is straight
felony,
federal.
baby.
Well, 'cause I thought he only
I
got
didn't know.
sentenced to like
IRS is
5
king,
years, and then his brain decided, I'm a clock out.
Less than 5.
No, he
Wasn't
got-
even.
he-
He didn't even. He spent like a year in prison, I think, and then his brain just decided to have a shit fit and
So
died.
he was sentenced to 10
But yeah,
years.
for a while,
Al
tax,
Capone spent
money
5
laundering,
years
yeah.
in prison, got released because they found out he had syphilis, and then died 5 years after being released from said syphilis. So yes, his brain did check out.
That sounds about right.
Okay, because, yeah, I know that's what they got him in prison for, because they couldn't pin anything to him directly. Is like, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
kill them, how to...
My finger wasn't
It's
on
like-
the trigger, I just pointed at them and said die.
It was basically, yeah, and that's basically how a lot of modern gangs run their things now. Is just basically so that the leadership aren't the ones that actually do anything.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
most
no.
Well,
organized
that's why
crime,
RICO
most
exists.
organized criminals also try to avoid attracting the eyes of the law in the first place.
Yeah.
It is a lot easier to get away with your crimes when John Law doesn't come asking questions.
What, sir? Why do you have an anti-aircraft battery on your roof? No reason. Why,
Yeah.
why is it constantly?
Why do you have a surface-to-air missile? Why don't you?
Why don't you?
No, fair enough.
This is America.
Stinger, that's a
This is
Fireworks.
America. Why don't you?
not a stinger.
I'd be shocked if you cannot buy like an old I'd be shocked if you can't buy like an iHawk or something.
You
like
can
one
buy
of the
an
ones that...
you can buy an RPG-7. I'm pretty sure you can buy.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's a
that's
pretty
another thing that
extreme-
just clicked
It's
in my
a pretty
mind.
extreme license that you have to get to do it.
Yeah, but you can
I
still
know
own an
over-
RPG.
I know over in Hungary you can buy one, which is why I find it mildly funny that people are like, oh, you know, like the gun thing in America, bro, over in Hungary I can buy an RPG-7 with ammo and probably shoot it at someone.
I mean, I don't believe in banning guns. I just think the testing should be, the licensing should be harder to get and
Yeah.
better requirements. I mean,
There is an
honestly-
argument. Okay, there is an argument to say that the government isn't stopping you from having guns. It's putting some requirements to get them, sure, but that's not a complete stop.
oh no, I'm not.
Mm. I believe that if a person is if you can reasonably deduce that this person is insane or is otherwise going to commit, funny stuff with their firearms, then you can stop them. But you can't be just like, you look wrong, die.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
how,
right.
that's how ICE is operating right now, and see how that's going.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, God, yeah.
I think the pro-gun lobby has really dropped the ball on any sort of compromise.
Because
Yeah.
the NRA don't want any form of compromise.
I can't comment on American gun laws too much because, shock horror, I'm not an American. But over here, the way I phrase this, being someone on the spectrum who is officially diagnosed, you lose out on things that you would otherwise not, or it creates unnecessary complications. For example, if I inform the road nerds that I am diagnosed, they can, and possibly will, I honestly don't know, I'd have to find out by doing it, say, you ain't fit to hold an unconditional license. At best, so the learner thing, you need 120 hours to, go to your, I can drive on my own, and, I don't know, smash into a wall. But
Okay, let me speak on this one. I'm from, again, like I said before at the start of the stream, I'm from the Deep South. Gun culture is borderline insane down here, so I think I can somewhat understand it. Any case, referring to the NRA, some of them are batshit insane. I will give you that one. But then there's also the ATF, which are more often than not making arbitrary rules without any of them ever having been elected to make said rules in regards to guns. Because
I mean, the
It
NRA
was
and the
a-
ATF are two separate groups that do.
I don't know.
Different.
The difference is the NRA is a more or less civilian organization, whereas the ATF is
government sponsored.
yeah.
I mean,
government.
government
And also
agencies have the power of interpretation for laws.
Also, surprise, surprise,
Yeah, but the
the
problem
ATF is not
they
only
can-
just for firearms. Remember,
Yeah.
ATF stands for
Yes,
alcohol,
tobacco, and alcohol as
firearms.
well. That's what the A and
Yeah, but it doesn't
no,
change
it's
the
alcohol,
fact that
tobacco,
the
firearms,
ATF
and explosives. We just don't include the E.
Yeah.
Well, now that
It
just makes
doesn't
me
change-
angry.
not change the fact that they more often they tend to make rules or tend to make new guidelines almost on a whim for various other situations. Which shooting was it they blamed bump stocks on? Am I
The
forgetting?
Ariana Grande Las Vegas. That one was because the AR did have a bump stock on it.
Was the
Yeah,
bump
the
stock
fact
legal or not?
remains-
That's my question.
They tried. Yeah, apparently it is now. But the fact remains, bump stocks. The problem is not the gun itself. The problem is the people who we allow to get guns.
Well, that's half the problem.
There are no.
Yeah,
For example,
gun.
well,
If you manage
you
to
can
delete
background
guns,
check-
like let's say we rocked up to like I don't know the admin of existence. It's like, alright, ban guns, and they're like, alright, guns banned. Congratulations, the crime will just turn to something else. Like, I'll just
Yes, but
poke
the
you with like a pen or something.
Yeah, but the problem is, in regards to guns, background checks are needed. I say that because they are.
Oh well, yeah,
lack of
background checks are required for a
problem.
lot of things.
Yes, but the problem is, you're not required to buy a firearm from a store. You can buy them from an individual, in which case you have to go through no background check whatsoever.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
So that's
Yeah.
why a lot of states are actually banning gun shows, or they're highly regulating them to where, like in
It's not just gun shows. It's private sellers.
Yeah.
It's just private sellers in general. You'll find them on Craigslist or eBay.
So in Tennessee, there's a local gun show that does the rounds in Tennessee, and they basically now it went from you just show up to you have to fill a form out on their website in order to actually sell equipment there.
I just remembered the South Park episode where Cartman was driving a NASCAR, and Kenny gets told he couldn't bring his sniper rifle in, but he could buy one at the gift shop once he was in.
Okay, let me rephrase what I just said. I'm a bit outdated because I haven't been keeping up with the courts. Back in 2024, which was last year, the Supreme Court struck down the federal ban on bump stocks. So they are legal again, but it took them years to get there. It was in 2018 during the first Trump administration that it was banned, but then it was the last year of the Biden administration that it was unbanned. Go figure. That seems like a bunch of hypocritical nonsense, especially given the fact that Trump is openly supported by the NRA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what did he issue when that Vegas shooting happened? Oh yeah, hopes and prayers.
Yeah. Open prayers.
Yeah.
Speaking
And it's
on
like-
hopes and prayers.
Well, yeah, don't you know? Hopes and prayers are like the most pivotal thing in the universe. If I give you hopes and
Nah,
prayers, you
it's
have
not
now
like,
transcended humanity.
It's
But
not
the
like,
problem is, I got no problem with someone having a gun as long as they, one, know how to use it, and two, go through some kind of background check to
That was
obtain it.
my point. I'm not saying that
it's not
I don't
what-
support
yeah.
gun bans. I just think that the NRA, by not even like compromising on at least gun, background checks, is like.
I mean, what's to stop a
Insane.
felon from buying it from a private owner? What's to stop a felon?
The fact that they shouldn't be allowed to do that legally, and well, both people should be
You're
charged
assuming
if they
that
don't.
you're assuming the private owner would know that the person has a felony, in which case the seller has plausible deniability.
So the way it works here in Australia, if I want to buy a gun off of someone, let's say my cousin, it's like let's say I want to buy a gun off my cousin. First of all, we have to approach each other. Hey, I would like to buy that gun off of you. Okay, that'll cost X amount of money. Okay, deal. We then have to go to a licensed building to then go, so like a firearms store, approach him and be like, hey, I would like to transfer this firearm to this person. It is a sale. And it's like, then they run all the background checks. So, does this person have a license? Do they have any criminal shenaniganry going on? Do they have any AVOs, anything like that? Once everything checks out, they're like, congratulations, you are now allowed to make the deal. I have to bear witness and sign this document to say that I bore witness to this deal.
Yeah,
Creating some level of third-party accountability.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
And we do that in New Zealand as well. And also in New Zealand, we have what is also known as red flag laws, which means people's family members can go, this person really shouldn't have a gun, and at that point, nope.
Yeah,
I have we have red flag laws, but like the issue is like there's no like some of the red flag laws. There's no way to like repeal them or prove that like once you get red flagged.
And there's also no way to keep there's no way to figure out who is being red flagged for real and who is being red flagged.
Well, no. I'm okay with red flag laws. I just want, like maybe testing it to like, be able to, to be able to contest it. I don't know.
Yeah,
you have to give a red flag for a reason. You have to give a red flag for a reason.
But I'm saying more in a lot of cases, at least around here, I've seen people red flag other people or sign warrants on other people just because that one particular person happened to piss them off for whatever reason.
That can be a legitimate issue, and so you need to find a way to...
Hell, that's how my dad went to jail.
You would have to find a way to create some kind of, like, accountability regarding stuff like that. You can't just be like, I don't know how you would approach that though, because I'm not a legal.
Well, just because there's flaws with a solution doesn't mean the principle isn't.
No, I'm not saying that you should just delete it altogether because there's flaws. You have to approach. Okay, what are the flaws in that problem? How do we like mitigate or manage those flaws?
Kind of like how one should, restructure the government, try and cut back on costs.
I still say they should at least double the number of House seats because the current balance is untenable.
Whack.
It does not accurately represent the beliefs or the voting power of their districts. Keep in mind, I live in the particular state I live in is gerrymandered to fuck. My area consistently votes Democrat across the board, but we never get a Democrat representative because we're in a Republican district.
Gerrymandering.
Yeah. So that's when they changed how districts vote to suit a particular party.
Yeah, basically the way that they distribute
district lines and
they make the district lines so that the party that they don't want to win will be seen as a minority in the district.
Essentially, just split across multiple.
They line it up so that the larger, let's say for argument's sake, there is a bunch of party X, and you want party Y. You either group party X into as few districts as possible, or you spread them out over as many districts as possible, making party Y the majority, therefore winning the election, even if a minority of the people voted for that party. It's something that can be observed in any democratic nation. The U.S. is just a really good example.
I don't know. I think we should have like proportional voting system like Germany's.
Yeah. So I just put it in I just put an image in the live chat. Look at how gerrymandered that is.
Yeah. That doesn't look
that is gerrymandered the fuck.
Hang on, how many districts? Just one district, two districts,
I will give one caveat. I live in the state just south of you. You can see the borderline outline of it.
I live north.
Our state is gerrymandered even worse than yours. So take from that what you will.
Yeah. It looks like it has tumors, to be honest.
Yeah.
No,
Honestly, the
yours-
easiest way to approach this, which comes with its flaws, is
Yeah, your state
Um,
probably is gerrymandered worse.
is
I guess.
to simply
I-
throw districts
point.
out the window and say, "Aight, if a percentage of the people vote this party wins."
Well,
Yeah, but
that's why I
creates
say-
on,
But then that creates issues regarding that now the state has to manage has to micromanage everything, which can be very cumbersome, especially if a state has a massive
on
metropolitan
large-
area followed immediately
Yeah,
by
large-
a lot of rural, smaller communities. So this is
Yeah,
for
like-
example,
Example.
if the New South Wales
Michigan
government
or
decided,
something.
hey, we're going to implement this idea, now Broken Hill has no representation and probably won't get much done. Because
Yeah.
Broken Hill is
Okay,
all the way on the
picture
ass
inside
end of the
chat.
state. It is so far from actually everything else.
Yeah.
It uses Central Australian time instead of Eastern Australian Standard Time, whatever the correct time zone name is, because they're so far from everything else, and they do most of their stuff with South Australia. So they're like, well, we're technically part of South Australia now.
But look at the voter distribution in my state. Look in the side chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that
I-
one district is
I like the voting
even-
system
I-
of the
I'd say
funny
it's
blue
even more
star
in terms of
country,
distribution.
even if I don't like other policies from the funny blue star country.
Which Blue Star country?
The funny blue star country.
Oh,
There's
Blue
3.
Star.
Which one do you want?
Blue Star.
technically
Blue
three.
Star. We have white stars, and New Zealand has
Combo.
bronze
Red.
stars.
Combo.
What?
The Middle East funny blue
The
star
Middle
country.
Eastern one.
Oh, okay.
I'm
for
having the
fuck's
world's
sake.
strongest stroke right now. What?
Are you really this step? From check your DMs.
Huh?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I kind of like their election system, but it had,
Oh
like,
fuck! Okay. I had a. I'm hungry. I need to eat.
This man is just dense.
I can be
He's Australian.
insightful, but I can
Yeah,
also be incredibly stupid. Please forgive me. Don't bully me.
The New Zealanders are just the superior Oceanians.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because first of all, they're whatchamacallit doesn't suck.
Is
It was-
Oceanians the correct term? Like the fuck are you guys
Yes.
called?
And we just.
I don't know.
Although there was a pitch to make the continental shelf that New Zealand sits on, just Zealandia, and it included a good chunk of Then there was another pitch to make that part of Australia part of that. So it was like, yes, we put
Yeah.
Australia on the continent named Zealandia. That's fucking brilliant. But no,
Oh yeah, here's mine.
I
I can't
Well,
say
that would have
much.
been funny though, because then Australia could
That's
have been
not bad.
multi-continental
That's not
as well.
bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
What about Texas's one? This is.
See,
I mean, they
think
just
I-
do
Yeah,
voter
the funny
suppression.
star state
Yeah,
that says it
they-
can be
they just-
independent.
Wait, which was the state that got its ability to draw its own districts revoked because
Georgia. Georgia.
because the
Georgia,
government-
Oh,
Georgia.
yeah.
because the
Because-
government looked at it and is like, bro, this is not even. This is just
No, no,
obvious.
no.
Stop
No,
doing that.
The issue with Georgia was not that it was
Yeah, that
obvious,
makes
that it was
sense.
drawn on racial lines.
Literally
Yeah,
drawn
it was-
on racial
it
was-
lines.
So
So-
instead
Yeah.
of just normal political
Normal
gerrymandering,
gerrymandering
it's
is
racial.
This one was racial gerrymandering.
I can see how Texas is a red state
Oh yeah, so here's the image
because
for
like
Georgia
a lot of you have things like
2022.
where all the people live, and then all of the rural stuff that has like nobody, but like
Oh.
5 guys, not the restaurant.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a Georgian political district map for 2022, guys.
Oh,
Who the hell are the
Yeah.
purple people?
The purple.
I
swing.
assume politically mixed.
it's mixed.
so what did they try to make it?
I mean, I don't know that's the election map for my state.
Yeah.
The
I can see
Georgia
what's
one.
happening here. they just generated a brand new district around Salem with 6 points without changing anything.
I've got a
Oh, yeah.
question.
Mm.
Can the stream see anything that we're talking about? Because otherwise, we're just looking at shit. that we can't say.
but I will
Sorry,
be
guys.
He will be putting them in the VOD.
Yes, I will be putting them in the VOD.
Okay.
Well, then the people who are like watching our goober actions don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Okay, how
We
many
can literally say piss is blue now, source of this picture, and then they'll be like, "What picture? I don't see blue piss. Is my piss blue?"
Is there anyone actually here?
Sorry,
No,
folks.
there's nobody actually here. And the reason.
Oh, no one's
Oh, shit,
watching
I
this.
can be racist.
Yeah.
There is a reason why we're doing this.
Why?
Mainly because the last time we did this and I had Discord up, there was maybe a KKK flyer in the background. Just
Oh yeah, I
floating
fucking
around.
told about this.
So,
Fucking propaganda,
yeah,
man.
we
There was a KKK flyer in the side chat. Since when?
No,
not in
general.
in the general chat.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we had to do this avatar thing.
I'm
So we
going to
don't
have to
get
go and look and see if I can
fucking nude.
find this, because this is mildly interesting. Or did you blow it up?
I didn't blow it up, and I'll post it again.
It's just at the top of general.
Yeah, just go all the way to the top, man.
Right, well, I am sorry, people, but I am going to have to drop out of this early.
Yeah,
I'll see
I
you
think
guys.
we should start wrapping it
Yeah.
up because it is a weekday.
Yep. And it's an hour
Yeah.
and 21. I think we're running
Yeah.
out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
am very
evening,
hungry. I
folks.
should go eat food. Anyway,
Oh,
today's
nice,
sponsor, my nuts.
Yes.
This is
And-
good evening,
Oh.
folks.
Alright, I'll see you guys later.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, get back.
Good night.
All right.
I think
And that's the first thing
Oh.
that the stream hears is I'll fucking hold your word to it. Got it.
Exactly.
Oh, hello, friend.
Yeah.
I'm Nerd.
Hi, Twitch.
Hello, we're
Hi,
professionals.
Twitch.
Let me mute myself
I'm
so I can do
Nick.
the
Yeah.
intro yet again.
Wow.
Wait, who's doing... who does? I don't even know who does the intro.
Crap.
I wasn't here for
Me,
this.
probably.
All right, we do. All right,
Okay,
here's what we
correct.
do.
Hello and welcome to the NAFO podcast. No, fuck! Ah! Welcome to the non-credible... I'm fucking breaking down. Welcome to the official non-credible podcast.